Welcome back. Today I am going to show you how I normally warm up when I'm kind of feeling stuck and I don't know what to paint. First of all, I want to share with you one of my favorite books. This book is a book about Matisse, and it's called Matisse in Search of True Painting. And I'll link to all the information in the description. This is a really great book because there he is, just chilling. I love this book because it shows Matisse trying a painting multiple times, not just a one time, one and done. He goes back and tries things. That's why it's called In Search of a True Painting. I'll show you some of the pictures inside. Let's see here. So he'll do the same scenes over and over again. He'll try different variations. Still life with fruit. This was he tried it one time and then he did it again. I was gonna say maybe they're 2 different years, but they're both in 1899. Zooming in and out. Okay, so that's one of them. I love this book. Look at this one, and I'll zoom into this. Sometimes when I'm painting, I'm like, I'm redoing this thing too much. What am I doing? But look, Matisse did this same figure so many times. So don't feel discouraged. Don't feel like you have to have everything done perfectly the first time. That is not how it works, at least not for me. And this is encouraging for me to see Matisse doing the same thing. There's this one with let me see if I can find the one that was really interesting. So this one is the flowers. I love this. And see how he tried it one way and then he tried it another way. This one was done in 1912, oil on canvas. And then this one was done in 1913. So he'll look through his work. I'm assuming this is what he does. And he'll redo it several times, like this one. It might not even be the same year. Look at that. Just amazing. I love how he sometimes zooms in, sometimes zooms out, focuses on different things. And it's never the same thing over and over. It's never the same, because you learn something about yourself, or you learn something about the practice once you try it many different ways. So don't feel like the same couch I love. Don't feel like everything has to be done the first time. Matisse did his work many, many times, as you can see. I just love that. One of it, he puts the blanket closer, moves the table a certain way, he zooms in. This one, he's kind of far away. I just think that's great. Super inspiring. So this book is great. If, like I said, I'll link it below. It has so many amazing paintings. And like I said, it's just encouraging. And it's an encouraging read to see what Matisse does when he is working. All right. So now I'll show you how I take these masters and I just use some of the work that they've done and kind of help myself get warmed up, because I am just trying to practice and I'm not trying to make anything absolutely perfect. So let's see here. What we're going to use is oil pastels, as usual. Though I could throw in watercolors, but today I'll use oil pastels. And I have this really cool roller from Martelco, and I'll also link to that. And it's just craft paper on a roll. So this one was a practice from earlier. It's gonna be loud, hang on. So it just rips right out the pieces of paper. And usually I just tape it on my wall. Just maybe put it up here or whatever. Somebody asked me if I go through and spray them or use fixative, and I don't always do that, mostly because I forget to do it on a nice day. You should spray fixative outside so that you have proper ventilation, or if you have large windows, open those up. But I just don't want to get the spray everywhere here in my space that I share with my husband and kids. So I was waiting for a super nice day to do it, and then when it's a nice day, I want to be out playing and not spraying the fixative on my art. So yeah, I have not done it. So I just leave it as is. Okay, so I'm going to take this roll of paper and move these oil pastels over. And I kind of like the way he did the couch. Let's see if I can find that page again. This is not the couch. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna try a little bit of this. This was actually done in oil paints on canvas, but I'm allergic to oil paint, so I'm gonna use oil pastels and show you how I typically would go about this. I'm not trying to copy it exactly. That's not my goal. My goal is just to get some marks on the page and maybe feel like I love the feeling of getting blocks of color down. Also, I get nervous sometimes when I'm working and maybe doing a project, and this is just really helpful in freeing me and saying, just go for it. You don't have to worry about having things perfect. Warms up my hands when I do these practices, and then it just reminds me to read a little bit about the artists that came before me and see what they've struggled with. So it's a really great learning experience. Right, there's a green here. These are palm. The name of this piece that he did is Palm Leaf. You see how luscious the different colors are? So he just kind of laid it on there. Maybe he's painting outside and this was a fast painting. Who knows? Okay, I'm going to give myself a map of where these palm fronds are, even though it's not the same color. And like I said, I'm not trying to copy Matisse. I'm just trying to give myself a little practice so that later on I will be ready to tackle other things. Like, it helps me be loose. Lime green. These are starting to really be like the paper. I don't love to take the paper off, but the paper is getting in the way of my pastel, so soon I will have to take the paper off. It's very abstract right now. Okay, so he did not use toned paper, so he left a whole bunch of white of the paper, so I'm just going to add that in. It's going to look a little messy, and that's okay. I love how he tried to do all of the, you know, the big, huge trunk of the tree in between, just to remind himself. So I'll do that. Just add a few here, like he did. And then on the tree trunks, he had like brush marks. I'm just mimicking it with the oil pastel. Zoom in a little bit here. This also allows me to try different color combinations that I may not have thought about before. I love how he added lime next to the green here and the gray next to the green, the different shades of green. I love that. And typically I will put this up on my wall behind me to remind myself, hey, do you remember when you liked how that looked? Try to add those kind of marks on your next painting, or try to be loose. He has a lot of loose brush strokes, so I'm just trying to mimic that with my oil pastel. Warning to those that want to use oil pastel, this does get really messy, so just have a paper towel handy. My hands are already starting to be a little messy. This is a little too dark, so I'll just layer another color of oil pastel on top of it, and it's just fine. The thing that I like about this Ratel roll is you can adjust the paper, make it longer, make it shorter. So if I run out of room here, I'll just pull this down and it'll be just fine. Do have to assist it a little bit by keeping it down or holding it. I'm sure I could tape it to the sides, but too late. I did not do that this time around. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down a little bit to add some of the greens at the top. And I usually don't take too long doing this. Just do a quick study. But sometimes I get really into it and I just want to keep practicing. This tree trunk right here is brown, but I'm putting black down first. Then I'll add the brown on top, just layering. There you go, you can practice layering. A lot of fun little greens at the top here. And do that also. Let's see. He has a lot of white down this way. And I can always add the green back. So yeah, this is my rendition of Matisse's palm leaf. It looks a little bit messy, but that's okay. I'm just playing and practicing. I just want to try a different green on top here. See if that changes anything. Some more gray. His gray now seems a little darker, so I'll try to find a darker gray. Different tone. And the last thing, probably after I go through and add a few more things, I like the blue right on top. Just a peak of blue. So I'm imagining Matisse outside painting this and just trying to quickly get all of the ideas down on paper, and then he'll go back and refine it. Or not. Maybe I have to look and see. I have to look and see if he did any more of this iteration. The next picture on the page, and I'll show you, has a little bit of a landscape too, but it's not exactly the same as this. There's another tree trunk. I'll just add that. Going off the page. Yeah, so grab yourself some oil pastels. play along with me because it is a lot of fun. It's messy, but it's fun. Just add a tiny bit more, and I think I'm gonna call it done for today. There we go. Yeah, so that is my version of Matisse's palm leaf Tangier. And what I'll do is I'll just take this out of my roller in a little bit and, you know, try another one later. So now my hand's kind of warmed up, and then I'm ready to go tackle a bigger painting or even a watercolor painting, or just do something different. And I'll remind myself to use loose lines, keep it a little bit messy. I love these little mark making layering techniques, so I'll make sure to add that. I also love this little section right here of the green. I love that with the blue on top. So maybe when I'm doing a floral painting, I'll remind myself, hey, maybe try a blue background. So this is a really good exercise, and go to the library. You don't have to buy these books. You could just get them from your library. And the reason why I buy them is I like to write notes in them sometimes. So don't do that to a library book. But go to the library, see whatever books they have of your favorite artists, and then try this warm up. It doesn't have to be a craft paper roll. It could be whatever paper you have. Those paper bags from the grocery stores are great. Just use that to do your practice. And I'll show you the other side of this Matisse artwork. Move this over. Okay, so this is another landscape in Morocco. Look at that, luscious. Maybe I'll try that for next time. All right, so thank you again for joining me. And I hope this gives you some ideas as you create. Happy creating.